What if an entire branch of the human race lived for 5,000 years in near total isolation, only to vanish without a single clear living descendant? Today, we go to Argentina to examine a DNA discovery that shouldn't exist. 8,500 years ago, in the shadowed valleys of the Sierras of Córdoba, a small human community hunted, gathered, and endured beneath open skies. They left behind stone tools, hearths, burials, but no name. No legend remembers them. No written record preserves them. No modern community can clearly trace direct ancestry to them. And yet, genetically, they were real. In 2024, a study published in Science Advances revealed something extraordinary. Led by population geneticist Cosimo Post of the University of Tübingen, alongside Argentine researcher Fernando R. Perez and colleagues studying early South American prehistory, scientists sequenced ancient DNA from skeletal remains dating to approximately 8,500 years ago in central Argentina. What they expected to see was continuity, genetic similarity to other early South American hunter-gatherers. What they found instead was divergence. When the genomes were modeled against dozens of ancient and modern indigenous populations, the statistical fit failed. The ancestry components did not align cleanly with known branches. Standard models of migration and mixture could not fully explain the pattern. The data refused to fit. And this is the moment where the mystery becomes visible, not poetic, but mathematical. On screen, you would see an admixture graph, branching lines representing population splits. Most South American groups cluster along expected paths, showing shared ancestry and later gene flow. But here, a separate branch extends early from the main Native American trunk and runs forward with minimal intersections. Few arrows, few mixture events. A long, quiet line. The Córdoba individuals belong to a lineage that split early from other Native American populations and then remained largely genetically isolated for thousands of years. Minimal gene flow, minimal outside ancestry, minimal mixing. In a continent defined by movement, this was stillness. To understand how unusual this is, we need to return to the end of the last ice age. Between 14,000 and 16,000 years ago, the first peoples rapidly expanded across South America. Archaeological evidence shows remarkable speed, from northern entry points to Patagonia in only a few thousand years. For decades, genetic research suggested that after this expansion, populations remained broadly interconnected. Exchange networks, seasonal mobility, and shared ancestry dominated the narrative. But central Argentina disrupts that model. The Sierras of Córdoba are not flat migratory corridors. They are rugged uplands, plateaus cut by valleys, broken ridgelines, enclosed ecological pockets. And researchers now suggest that this region may have functioned as what anthropologists call an ecological refugium, a genetic fortress. While surrounding plains acted as highways for migration, these elevated landscapes created microclimates with stable water sources and diverse resources. A small population could survive year-round without needing to expand outward, trade extensively, or integrate with incoming groups. They did not need to walk 20 miles and meet someone else. They had everything they needed. And so, for thousands of years, they remained. The genomic modeling supports this. Using F-statistics and admixture testing, researchers repeatedly found that the Córdoba lineage received far less external ancestry than expected. While other South American populations show clear signals of mixing during the mid-Holocene, this group's genetic profile remains comparatively stable. It is as if a fragment of the earliest South Americans broke away and stayed apart. But the most haunting part of the story comes later. When scientists compared this ancient lineage to present-day indigenous populations in Argentina and neighboring regions, they found little direct continuity. The distinct genetic signature does not strongly persist in modern groups, which means that somewhere between 8,500 years ago and the later Holocene demographic shifts, this lineage fades. Not in a dramatic extinction event that leaves burn layers or mass graves, but gradually. Around 4,000 to 3,000 years ago, archaeological evidence across parts of South America shows increasing mobility and social transformation. Climate fluctuations altered ecosystems, new technology spread, population densities changed. Some groups expanded into new territories, some merged, some were replaced by others, and some were absorbed so completely that their independent genetic identity dissolved. In population genetics, this is known as a ghost population, a group that once existed as a distinct branch but left little detectable ancestry in present-day people. But this is not mythology. These were real individuals. They shaped stone tools from local rock. They navigated seasonal cycles. They buried their dead in earth that would preserve their genetic code for 8 millennia. Without ancient DNA technology, they would have remained invisible. And this is where scientific specificity matters. When extracting ancient DNA, contamination is always a threat. Modern human DNA can easily overwhelm fragile ancient fragments. So how do researchers prove authenticity? They look for a molecular signature of time. Specifically, they examine C to T transitions at the ends of DNA strands, chemical changes caused by cytosine deamination over thousands of years. These predictable damage patterns accumulate in ancient samples, but not in modern contamination. In the Córdoba genomes, researchers detected precisely those C to T transitions concentrated at fragment ends, the unmistakable fingerprint of deep antiquity. This DNA did not come from a lab technician. It came from the ancient dead. The broader implication is profound. South America was not a single uniform wave of migration followed by steady blending. It was a mosaic, regions of heavy interaction alongside pockets of isolation. Some populations expanded and shaped future generations. Others endured quietly in ecological refugia, genetically distinct from millennia, and then vanished. The Córdoba ghost lineage forces us to confront a fragile truth about ancestry. Survival in the genetic record is not guaranteed. Modern populations are only the branches that persisted. Beneath them lie lost branches, communities that thrived for thousands of years, yet left little trace in living genomes. The individuals from the Sierras of Córdoba were part of the great human story of the Americas. They descended from the same founding populations that crossed into the continent near the end of the Ice Age. But they walked a different path. For 5,000 years, they remained genetically separate. Then, history moved forward, and they did not. Their story was not erased by conquest. It was not chronicled in text. It simply dissolved into demographic change, replaced, absorbed, overshadowed. And only now, through ancient DNA and statistical modeling, can we see the outline of their existence, which leads to an unsettling possibility. If one isolated population could remain hidden for 8 millennia in central Argentina, how many others are still buried beneath unsequenced soil? How many ghost lineages shaped human prehistory and vanished without memory? We are currently tracking 3 other potential ghost populations emerging from ancient DNA in North America and Siberia. If you want to see the maps before they hit the textbooks, if you want to follow the genetic evidence as it rewrites what we thought we knew about human migration, subscribe to Genealogy X. The past is being rewritten in real time. Don't get left behind.